So if you had a disability and you saw these answer choices on your job application, what would you choose? Hey, my name is Tashira, and this is my multiple sclerosis journey. Hey y'all, welcome back. Today I'm really going to talk about what it's like with me having multiple sclerosis and being employed. This is a really touchy topic for me because in 2015 I was diagnosed. In 2015 I also moved to Georgia, and when it came time to start looking for jobs, I was presented with this question, and normally I lied. This is a voluntary form on most job applications. By law, if you have a disability, you are to be provided equal employment opportunity. Okay, so let's say this. You apply for a job, your track record is great, your resume is impressive, and you don't have a disability. So you're fine, you get the job. The next person comes along, their track record is wonderful, and their resume is better than yours. They are top notch, and they mark that they have a disability. You think they'll get the job? Would it happen all the time? No, probably not. I don't know. You don't know. We don't know. I'm just explaining how I think having a disability, being disabled, having multiple sclerosis. I actually had a talk with a family member back then, and she told me that it would be best that I put that I had a disability because I would surely get the job. Did I believe that? No. Being that I was just diagnosed, I had not accepted the fact that I had a disability. I really wanted to believe it was something else. So was I in denial? Pretty much. Disabled people with a disability, there are laws that protect them and allow them to be employed. The Americans with Disabilities Act prohibits employers from discriminating against a qualified individual with a disability and requires employers to provide reasonable accommodation to a qualified applicant. I'm not sure how that works because I've never been in a situation where I could not be employed because I had a disability, or that I was fired because I had a disability, and I pray I never have to go through that, but I know it's out there. I am not the most active person because of multiple sclerosis, but do I want a job sitting at a desk or sitting at home? Do I want to work from home? No. I like working with people. I like talking to people. I enjoy customer service, and I enjoy having a job where I'm able to do that. My current job, physically, I'm okay because I'm able to stand and I'm able to sit. Sometimes sitting is too much for me, so I have to stand and walk around. Sometimes standing can be painful, but I'm given the chance to sit. So I have a variety of things that I do at my current job, which works best for me because I'm not in one spot all day, which would definitely be bad. Like, I don't want a job where I have to sit all day. Probably couldn't do it, but I haven't tried, so I'm not gonna say that. I just think it would be difficult for me to do. Okay, so I was editing my video and I just had to jump on here to clarify some things. Being that I have multiple sclerosis, I now know that I have to take chances on a lot of things, including employment opportunities in my career. It's just really, really hard, and it's not to be negative, it's just, it's real. It's real. How I feel is real, and what I'm going through is real. But I also have to realize that since my diagnosis, I have worked in retail, and I have worked in childcare, and I have worked in healthcare settings. So I talked a few of my colleagues into doing an interview. Watch and see what they have to say. Do you know what multiple sclerosis is?
Yes, I do. It is an autoimmune disorder, and I know it affects the nerves and muscles and the tendons and a lot of other different functions in the body.
Yeah.
How?
I had a family member. Her name was Cynthia. She was diagnosed at the age of 23, and she died 2 years ago at the age of 34. And so, fortunately, I did have the privilege of assisting her with a lot of her heavy lifting, a lot of the driving across town, and just basically a lot of the. I was younger. I wasn't that mature to even care about something at that age. But as I became older, of course, I did my own research and became a lot more knowledgeable of what MS is.
I've heard of it, but I don't know all the details of it.
Yes, I'm very familiar with multiple sclerosis as my close family member has been diagnosed with the same disease. So I'm very familiar in terms of how it affects the body, mood swings, or whatever the case may be. But yes, I do know.
Did you know I had multiple sclerosis?
No, I didn't until we had a talk one day and you told me all about it.
I did not until you actually fully disclosed it. It was something that I wondered about as far as just watching your movements and how you would operate throughout the day. But I don't assume, so therefore I just waited until you actually divulged the information to me.
For about a month, no. Until you walked up to me and you said, "I got MS." I said, "What?" I said, "I got MS." I said, "Oh, really?" And because I even told you, I was like, I didn't even notice. I didn't even notice the way you walked and all that other stuff. And then so, of course, due to the simple fact that we are now colleagues and, that you brought this to my attention, I actually made it, a priority to go home, research MS a little bit more, and just basically, check out the side effects and everything of that nature. So basically, I could be a little bit more empathetic to people who have this condition.
Initially, not at first. I could tell by watching the way that you walked that there was some type of condition going on. I didn't automatically suspect multiple sclerosis, but initially I kind of thought Parkinson's. But but just because of how some of your movements were a little jerky.
I know most people's advice is to tell your employer that you have a disability so they'll know. It took me some time because I don't just tell anybody. But can you tell when my symptoms are worsened?
Girl, yes. As part of becoming familiar with the disease itself, you have to educate yourself so you don't seem ignorant to the facts. Part of my process with my family member was to educate myself to learn how to deal with that family member. There were mood swings at times that I didn't know where they were coming from. But part of my education was, like I said, to educate myself and learn what may cause this person to have flare-ups, be moody, be upset, and I did learn that all that is encompassed in the disease itself.
Yes, because you're not the same Tashira.
Yeah, I can actually. The way you walk, plus your mood, but I can tell when you're favoring one side or the other, or if your knees are bothering, your ankles are bothering you, or your back, your how you move, how you walk, it changes. And so I see you every day. So I watch how you walk, I watch your movements just to see if there's any changes that day.
Do I struggle physically? Yes. Not all the time, but yes. Mentally, just neither here or there, whatever. Cognitively, I think I'm pretty darn smart. Do you think my condition affects my work ethic?
No, not your work ethics, but I can tell when you're having a bad day because you do things differently.
Absolutely not. Your work ethic is in your mind. You always come to work ready to work. You always have a good attitude unless you're in pain that day. Then sometimes it's a little bit shorter. But you show up every single day and you fight it every day. And I can tell the days that it's not a good day and you'd rather be at home, you'd rather be in the bed, but you know, you show up, you're here. But our work ethic, yeah, it can be affected by our physical condition, but at the end of the day, we have to remember that just because this earth suit isn't cooperating with us, that doesn't take away from the fact that we can choose to still have a good day. And I can tell you choose every day to get up and move and have a good day, period.
Not at all. I've watched you push through many days, coming in, whatever the case may be, how the disease is affecting your body that day, but you're here on time, and you perform your job to your fullest. And even when I know that you're not feeling your best, I don't want to go home. Yes, you are. You're going home. But it's just my way of showing that I truly care about you and I do have a passion behind what you're going through. I never want my employees to feel as if they have to bear the burden alone.
Do I know my limitations? Yes. Do I do the most? Yes. At the end of the day, I work hard because I feel like you don't get a job just to slack. And for me to be employed, I am extremely blessed. And I don't know, do I think it's fair? No, but life is not fair. So the most I can do is try my hardest to get through the day, each day, and that's what I do. What advice do you have for people with MS in the workplace?
My advice with people with multiple sclerosis in the workplace is realize that it's life. Things happen. Your diagnosis is not who you are. It's what you make it. There's been plenty of people diagnosed with cancer, diagnosed with other diseases that's living their life to the fullest. You choose what you want your outcome to be. So therefore, if you've been diagnosed with multiple sclerosis, use it as an advantage to educate other people about the disease. And not only that, educate yourself, because there may be things out there that you don't know about that may ease your day. But don't give up. Don't give up. Continue to push, continue to thrive, and just look forward to each thing day by day. And if things happen, you on YouTube, show them your truth, because there are people out there that think they're alone when really they're not.
Go hard or go home. No pain, no gain. Short, sweet, to the point.
Well, just from watching you, I would tell people not to be ashamed and to let people around you know so they'll understand when you're having bad days and you are a little different.
Well, I definitely say education is key. It's really important, as with any job that you have, that you work with the public. You know, they look at you and they're not really sure what's going on, and they sometimes assume different things. But to be able to freely express, you know, I have MS. There's going to be days that some days I walk slower, some days I may have a limp, but it doesn't take away from who I am. I'm not weak, and that's something that we've always discussed. I've always let them know that, hey, just because she walks a limp, she's not at all weak, so don't treat her like she's weak. But yeah, just really being open about what's going on in education. And that's why we were really on board with doing the presentation up front for Multiple Sclerosis Awareness Month. We wanted our donors to understand, you know, what's going on, because you can combat the ignorance by simply giving out some free knowledge. What they don't know, people are generally scared of and talk about, they don't know how to act. But once they understand what's going on, and it makes you feel better, because now you educate people and you give them the insight as to this is what I deal with every day. I think it helps with the overall morale and the gratitude with other people, because we all have something to be thankful for. We all have things that we have to deal with. We all have burdens. We all have difficulties. But how you carry it, you give people a beautiful example of what that really looks like. No matter what you got going on, you show up, you do a good job, you smile, and you go home.
I will tell you one thing. It's really nice to hear how my managers and my colleagues, how everyone looks at me, being that I have a disability, and them knowing that I'm here to do my job. Thank y'all for doing my interviews, and I really appreciate everything y'all said. I know it's possible, because anything is possible. it's just having that confidence to believe that me having a disability won't interfere with everything in my life. Thank y'all for watching. Don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe. Make sure you share this video, and I'll see y'all next time.
Please check out my YouTube channel that will be launching April 1st under Adonis Dior. I will bring you a wealth of knowledge as far as relationships, advice, things that I do in my daily life. I will vlog on a daily basis, showing you my life, how I choose to live my life, how I became as confident as I am and who I am. It will launch April 1st, so I hope that you tune in.